What's up, YouTube? Man, today I've come up with a little list of pantry items that last you a long time if you don't use them. Um, my thinking was that with everything that's going on in the world right now between the El Nino, the Godzilla El Nino, uh, India, they produce like a fifth of the world's sugar supply. They've stopped exporting in anticipation of shortages and everything with this super El Nino. It's affecting crops here in America. It's affecting crops all over the world, and we get crops from all over the world. So I imagine prices are going to be going up because of that kind of stuff. There's this whole illegal war going on in Iran. Don't even get me started on that, but that's driving up gas prices. Diesel is outrageous. So, shipping stuff like uh, in tractor trailers and whatnot is going to cost a lot more. And that means the price of food's going to go up. We've had so many wildfires that it's absolutely insane. And then all of our all of our migrant workers that got rounded up and sent off to the Gestapo, or sent off to by the Gestapo. They That's gonna put a hurting on our food situation. Um, I don't know if you guys know this, but I was a cook for a couple of decades, so cooking is super important to me. I hope cooking is important to everybody. Like, it's good for your mental health. Even doing the dishes, like if you're doing the dishes with somebody else, you're in the moment with that person, spending time with them in the present, just being present. You're being present when you're following a recipe. You're being present when you're watching something cook and making sure it changes the right color in the pan or doesn't boil over. You're engaged with it, you know? And all that's good for your mental health. It's practicing uh yeah, mindfulness. Yeah. It's being mindful. And and I always thought the kitchen was the heart of the home. Like, that's where people gather, and I get to express my love for everybody in the kitchen through cooking and making a delicious, wholesome, healthy meal for my family and the people I love and my friends. And it's cooking is so important, and I think it's a skill a lot of people have lost. And I think that just going grocery shopping without knowledge of how to cook is got to be a challenge. Not knowing what to buy, and and how much of it to get and whatnot. Well, that's the idea behind this list. Like, you could buy a whole ton of this stuff, and if you don't use it right away, it's gonna last you a long time. Now, if shit goes sideways and you haven't touched this stuff when it does go sideways, then you're going to be in a lot better position than you were before it went sideways. And a lot of this stuff is inexpensive, and sometimes you can get, like, dried beans are going to be cheaper than canned beans. Canned beans are just more they're they're more user friendly. You don't have to soak them overnight. You don't have to boil them for a long time. Like, you open up a can of pinto beans and dump them in that pot with a little bit of oil and some spices and whatnot, and cook them for, I don't know, 15 minutes or so, and then mash them up. Man, best refried beans you've ever had in your life. And if you've never had a perfectly seasoned bean, you've never had beans. Oh my goodness. Um, but yeah, that typical prepper stuff, rice and beans. Canned beans are going to last indefinitely as long as you store them properly. Any canned vegetable, canned fruit, it's all going to last a very, very, very long time as long as you store it properly. If you see a can's got like really bad rust on it, like it looks like be rusted through. No, that's nasty. If it's bloated, don't mess with it. If you open it up and it's like hissing and spurting stuff out at you, no. And if it stinks, stay away from it. But canned goods will last for pretty much indefinitely. I know they have the best buy date on them, and yeah, they are best by that date, but they're still edible for a long time afterwards. Um, uh, Stuff like baking powder, baking soda, and flour. Oh man, if oh, and lard or butter or cooking oil, all three. Like lard, if you throw that stuff in the freezer, it'll last forever. It'll last as long as it stays frozen. Um, Butter, that's good for like a year in the freezer. I've had it in there longer, forgot about it, like got buried in the back of the freezer. It was fine. Nothing wrong with it. Maybe didn't taste as good as a fresh package of butter, but it's not like it was bad. Uh, Oil, fats are so important, like your butter and your lard and oil. They're so important. Like, you can starve to death if you just eat rabbit because it's so lean. Your body needs the fat. And a lot of that stuff will last a long time. And it's pretty expensive. So if you pick it up when you can, and just if you pick up a pound of butter because you saw it on sale and throw it in the freezer, that's what we do. And be honest, I don't know how much is in there. I think there's a couple of pounds in there. Um, but I'm always happy that I did when I open up the fridge to find out that there's no butter left. Uh, Refined flour. You want you want refined flour to last longer because it doesn't have the oils in the shell and everything. Um, but if you've got flour and a bread maker and some yeast, like I make all my own bread. I don't even buy it at the store anymore. Every once in a while, um, when a loaf looks nice or something, but I haven't bought sliced bread. Man, it's got to be almost 2 years now. Uh, but yeah, with flour, you've got cookies, you've got pie crust, you've got dumplings. If you've got some baking soda and baking powder, like you can make a lot of things. Dumplings, biscuits, flour tortillas, man, all sorts of stuff. And if you don't know how to make something, there's the good old school of YouTube, man. They've taught me so much, and I don't know, not necessarily in the whole cooking arena. I've kind of been around the block as far as that goes, but like working on the car and learning how to weld and all that kind of stuff, I went to the school of YouTube. And but cooking, you can do the same thing. Just hang out in your kitchen with the phone and somebody whose voice you can tolerate, and learn how to cook something. A lot of times, like if you've cooked one thing in a wok, if you've learned how to stir fry one thing in a wok, pretty much everything you cook in a wok is done the same way with just different ingredients, and usually in the same order, like the meat first and then the meat comes out and then you put the veg in. The egg is always last. Like sauteing, it's always the same process. Like no matter what you're cooking in there, cooking times change a little bit. Soups are very much the same. Grilling, once you've got one meal like perfect, try it with something else and you'd be amazed. Or like if one night you forget to pick up fresh tomatoes for a saute dish, like maybe you got some sun-dried tomatoes in the fridge, try those in there instead. I would. But anyway, So what have we got? We got powdered eggs and milk. Those will last 5 to 10 years. We're not a huge milk drinking family, so I don't really worry much about milk. Eggs, I raise quail. We have more quail eggs than we know what to do with sometimes. Sometimes my wife will bake something just to use them up. Uh, yep, powdered eggs and milk, refined flour, freeze dried meals. They can be expensive, but they'll last forever. And let's face it, sometimes we come home from work and we don't really feel like cooking. And those freeze dried meals, some of them aren't too bad. Like I said, they're a little pricey. Um, Also, with the rice, the white rice, we also get those 90-second packs of rice. Like it's a perfect amount of rice for my wife and I, and they last like a year, maybe 2 years. I think the expiration is on those, and it's a super quick, easy dinner. I side. Actually, I opened up a can of pinto beans and made some refried beans yesterday and heated up a package of yellow rice for 90 seconds. And we had some cheese and flour tortillas, so I made some burritos for lunch yesterday. It was damn good. Um, Yep. Oats. Oats are awesome. That's breakfast. If you get yourself some dried fruits or something, they last a long time. Just toss them right in your oats while you're cooking them, unless you like the el dente of the dried fruits. You can put them in after. Um, but yeah, they'll last a long time. Canned fruits too. Canned fruits will last indefinitely, and fruit's an important thing to have in our diet along with all this other stuff. um but with the dried fruits, like you get some cranberries, you can make cranberry cookies with some of the other ingredients that we got on here. It's really not that hard once you get the staples. And peanut butter, get yourself some peanut butter. You got peanut butter cookies, you got peanut butter and jelly sandwiches if you make your own bread with the flour and the yeast that we picked up earlier. Like, it's all about buying ingredients, and ingredients that you know you're going to use. Like when you go buy your canned vegetables, personally I like frozen vegetables mainly, but we do have some canned vegetables kicking around just in case. But if you're making a soup or something and you forget to pick up carrots or you didn't have frozen carrots to put in the soup, like if you got a can of carrots kicking around, awesome, just put it in at the end so they don't mush. Um, but stuff like that, anything that's in your chicken noodle soup, if you buy the ingredients all separately, you're gonna make a lot more chicken noodle soup than you pay for one of those little cans. By the way, I was looking at the price of those, like the Campbell's chunky soup, ready to eat soups in the can, and I think it was like 10 years ago. I used to I used to work at this place where there was some kilns, and I would pop one of those open at my break in the morning and set it next to the kiln. And then I'd come get it at lunch and it would be piping hot. But I would buy them for cheap lunches. It was only $1 a can. And they're really good. Most of them, all of them that I've had have been delicious. And, but now they're up to like $5 a can, 5.50 a can, something like that. I couldn't believe it. That's insane, 500% increase. But anyway, um you'll make a lot more soup out of buying the ingredients than buying one can. Um if you get chicken bouillon cubes, they'll store for a very, very long time. I think it's like 2 to 5 years or something like that. And instead of buying the cans of stock, it also takes up a lot less space. You can get canned stock if you want to. Um, if you make your own chicken stock, you can freeze it. It's probably best used within a year, but as long as it stays frozen, it'll last for long time. Um, but when I buy meat, like I was just talking about making chicken stock, when I buy meat, I usually look for the manager's specials. Um, every time I'm at the grocery store and just pick up whatever it is. Uh, a lot of times, like if you get a whole chicken, even if it's not on manager special, a whole chicken is cheaper per pound than buying a cut up chicken. You might have to do a little bit of the work yourself, or you just stick that sucker in the oven in a roaster pan with some seasonings on it. Let it bake, and it'll be delicious. Make sure you put some butter underneath the skin in between. Oh, yeah. Um, but and then have that for dinner. You can make chicken salad out of, like, if my wife and I were to do that, I would make chicken salad sandwiches, or uh, chicken tacos, or chicken noodle soup, or chicken pot pie, or something out of the leftover chicken, and take all the bones and everything and all the pan drippings and whatnot, and boil it all down for stock and freeze it. And that'll save you a lot of money right there. Um, but one of those chickens, you can get, I think I talked about this in one of my other videos, you can get like 3 or 4 meals for 3 people out of a chicken. And we talked about cooking oil and lard, butter, um, save your bacon drippings. Oh man, make your refried beans with the bacon drippings. That's yum. And we talked about rice, bouillon, canned tuna, and canned chicken. That's a lot of bang for your buck. That stuff's going to get more expensive. Uh, I don't remember what was going on with the fishing industry, but it seems like something was going wacky with the fishing industry. I don't know if it has to do with tariffs or shipping stuff, or I don't remember what it was, but that's fish is going to get more expensive, in my opinion. Sugar will last indefinitely. Plus, you're gonna need sugar if you're gonna be making those pies and those cookies. Um, but sugar is a staple. You need sugar in your bread to help the yeast rise. You need sugar. Sugar has preserving properties, like if you're making jams and jellies out of the stuff that you picked out of the backyard. Um, yeah, same thing with salt. Salt lasts forever. It's a rock. Salt lasts forever. And it's also good for preserving stuff. Um, herbs and spices. Make sure that if you buy herbs and spices, they're ones you're gonna use, and there's stuff that you can swap out, and the internet has a lot of good substitution ideas, but like you can swap cilantro and oregano pretty decently. It isn't really going to change it that much unless you're using a lot of it, like you're making a pesto or something. But yeah, dried herbs and spices. And if you buy individual dried herbs and spices, you can make your own spice mixes, and a lot of those pre-mixed spices, they're delicious. I'm guilty of buying them, but man, are they overpriced. um my spice cupboard is ridiculous. I love cooking. I love spices. I love the aromas, the flavors, the heat from some of them, the way it feels in the back of your throat with others. Like I love spices. Um, uh, Root vegetables, they last a long time in a cool, dry space. Potatoes, garlic, onions, they'll last for a long time. If you buy a whole squash, that'll last for quite a while. Cool, dry space. What else? Pumpkins, apples, they'll last for a while in a cool, dry space. Um, but yeah, that's it. Like, if you get those basic ingredients, like think of the store from the 1800s, what would they have had? Flour and sugar and salt and dried meats and dried fruit, and maybe 100 years later they'd start having canned goods, canned vegetables and whatnot. And um, yeah, those are the types of things you want to be looking for. Those are the things that last. Those are the things that you can build off of. Once you learn how to make one kind of bread, they're all pretty much the same. Once you learn how to make one kind of biscuit, they're all pretty much the same, just different amounts or different ingredients. Like some use buttermilk instead of whole milk, or you know what I mean. Like it's just little substitutions here and there, and that's how you end up expressing yourself. Is you find a spice that you think will do really good in, or that you loved, and then you think it'll work better in something that you've had than somebody else did, so you put your spice in there. And I'm trying to come up with a good one, and it's just not happening for me. Gull and Gull. It's a kind of ginger, but man, is it ever good on salmon. Sumac. I put sumac on my salmon instead of lemon when I bake it, because it's got like a tart lemon flavor, and man, it's delicious. It pops. It's awesome. Um, that was a good example. So I hope this helps somebody. I If you don't know how to cook, get on YouTube and or just look up a recipe for something that sounds delicious, and don't be scared of it. Get engaged with it, and do it. Put your heart into it. Put your effort into it. If you mess up, man, I've messed up a million times. Nobody is perfect. You can't be afraid of messing up. If you're so afraid of messing up that you never start, you never even give yourself a chance to mess up. And I don't know. I'd rather have a chance to succeed than no chance to succeed. Plus, like, this is gonna save you so much money if you're eating out a lot. Um, if you can learn how to do some cooking and what to keep in your pantry once it's stocked, like it's just a matter of keeping it stocked. It's not like you gotta go spend $600 every time to fill your whole pantry. No, when you start getting low on green beans, you add it to the list for the next time you go to the store, and just grab stuff as you can and just restock it. Make sure to uh, first in, first out. Make sure that it gets rotated, or yeah, first in, last out. There we go. But make sure it gets rotated. Um, with the canned goods, like if you don't get it rotated, it's not gonna kill you, but might as well try to keep them fresher, right? If you're gonna be buying them anyway. So I hope this helps you guys grocery shop. I hope this guy helps you guys with an idea of what your pantry should look like in the future. Um, I hope that you get a pantry going if you don't already have one. Also a garden. Like we've been growing all sorts of stuff, and I canned some dilly beans and I made some pickles, and last year we picked a whole mess of grapes and I made grape jelly, and we got more grapes coming in the next few weeks, I think. Maybe a month. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a month, but they're looking pretty good. So I'm excited about that. I think I'm gonna make some grape pie filling and can it, and then all I got to do is make crust sometime, dump it in there. Grape pies, yum. So enjoy yourselves, be safe, eat well, eat healthy, feed your family delicious stuff, learn how to cook, hang out in the kitchen with your family, turn on some tunes, and just chill in the kitchen with your family. It really is the heart of the home. Love you guys.